Welcome back to Daily DeFi. Today's June 12th of 2021. Today we're going to be talking about Swipe, Serum, Reserve Rights Token, and most importantly, this article on the G7 Summit. Now, I remember actually the last G7 Summit in 2019, 2020 was supposed to be in the US, but it was canceled due to pandemic reasons. But in 2019, I remember I was in Biarritz, and the funny thing was the G7 Summit was actually going on while I was there. So this is where, all these top leaders come. At one point in time, Russia was on this list, but due to what happened with Crimea, Russia has been kicked out. It was the G8 at one point, so you can see these 7 countries. So we'll get into more of that. I just thought it was very interesting, being in Biarritz in beautiful south of France. I remember Bordeaux, the wine region, just absolutely incredible. I personally wouldn't live in France just because I think it's incredibly overvalued and the taxes are pretty ridiculous. But I mean, there's definitely some beautiful sights, and it was pretty crazy being there at that same, just being in the same city in France as the last G7 conference, and then also Solana, SOL, and Enzyme, MLN. We'll talk about an article on that. But first, we always kick things off with Defi Pulse and Juicy NFTs. So the total value locked in decentralized finance sits at $56.46 billion. Aave dominance is right around 15%. DeFi Pulse Index has dropped significantly. This is where I'm personally considering picking up some of the DeFi Pulse Index. And I've talked about this in the past, but you can basically get an index on the top decentralized finance projects by gaining exposure to the DeFi Pulse Index, especially if we push back down to here. Like if we go to the $40 billion level, I'll definitely be picking some up personally. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. So as I've been talking about in the past, Aave has really taken the dominance here while everything else has kind of fallen to the wayside. Aave for the longest time was in that number 3 spot, but really during this market dip is where they really kind of held steady and gained in total value locked in, while Maker, Curve, and Compound have all fallen in total value locked in. So next, Juicy NFTs. Now, the volume's back up to around $2.1 million on the daily time frame, about 161%. Good to see. This is one thing where, pretty much every day we're seeing CryptoPunks taking that top spot. I considered talking about an article on the DraftKings guy, the multi-billionaire of DraftKings, paying, I think it was around like $11 million for a CryptoPunk, which is pretty crazy. But maybe we'll talk about that in another video. So anyways, on to this article from CoinTelegraph, and then we'll talk about the G7 Summit and then get into the top decentralized finance tokens. So Solana and Enzyme rally while the wider market remains flat. A rapid growing ecosystem and recent Coinbase listing helped Solana and MLM bounce back from the recent lows while the wider market trades sideways. So what exactly caused this? So Enzyme obviously benefited from that Coinbase pump, so they got a nice little pop there. I've talked about in the next video coming out today is on iExec RLC, and they had a nice little pop off that Coinbase listing as well. I think it's very, very important to understand that when these get listed on these exchanges, that's really when you see the pop, because more investors are able to come on and gain exposure. Whereas if it's just on a DeFi platform trading on a decentralized exchange, not that many people can get in, only if you know how to actually use the decentralized exchange. But I think this next article, that I'm going to talk about on the G7 Summit is going to be very, very important. The other thing I did want to mention is I will be doing a live stream tonight. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. I'll probably have that scheduled out so you can see when it'll go live. I think it'll be around like 6 or 7 p.m. Georgia Standard Time, currently here in Tbilisi, Georgia. And so definitely join us for that live stream tonight, taking all different types of topics, whatever you want to see me talk about, I'm happy to. So that's basically all for this one. Solana obviously got this nice little pop here after those lows. So back to this G7 article. Now, I've considered doing a deep dive video on this, and I might do one on Monday talking about the G7 conference, what exactly went on. But one of the things they've been talking about is cyber attacks from Russia. They've been talking about, okay, what is this new normal going to be? What is the world going to return to? And again, as I talked about the leaders, so all the countries in this go from the United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United States, and obviously the EU isn't a country; it's like a group of countries, right? So that's why they have there. So kind of that a leader of the EU, Ursula, is there. So some of these pictures were hilarious coming out of there with like them elbow bumping. I might use one in the thumbnail. I just found it pretty hilarious. So I did want to show you this is what is on the agenda. Here we go. So the agenda starts with a dinner at the Eden Project on Friday night, attended by the Queen and members of the royal family. This already happened. I think that was last night. Then there's going to be stuff throughout today. The main topic of conversation for the rest of the summit is COVID recovery, including a stronger global health system that can protect us all from future pandemics. And the agenda includes climate change and trade. Boris Johnson held talks with President Biden on Thursday afternoon. So that was before the summit started. They covered topics including president's concerns over peace in Northern Ireland. So I personally, like, I've spent a lot of time in Ireland. I'm actually, if you take a look at my DNA, like my blood, I'm a majority Irish and kind of a Northern European countries, like, a little bit Scottish, Irish, or how would you say that? Danish. But yeah, so I mean, the things going on in Northern Ireland are obviously not that good. If you have any questions on that, again, these are things that almost would be a separate video. But I mean, there's kind of a lot of unrest in Ireland, to be honest. I didn't really think about it till I arrived there, and it was actually around the same time when I was in Biarritz. I think it was 2019, around when that G7 conference was, and there's surprisingly a lot of conflict in Ireland, especially when you go to Southern Ireland versus Northern Ireland, what's going on there. So top decentralized finance tokens, let's talk about it now. Everything is down. You're seeing these incredible just like swing highs, swing lows, and kind of just move sideways, which in my opinion, I think this move sideways, if we can hold steady, it is healthy for the overall bull market. But we are kind of in the short-term bear market season, if you will. So you could say, okay, in the short term, this is kind of where I would be seeing it as an accumulation phase. Now, I wouldn't put all my chips in the basket because we could see further falls. But keeping in mind that this is really the time where, it's kind of like, you want to act when other people are afraid, right? So when other people are all scared in the market, when other people are kind of running away, crying, scared, that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. Now you've got my attention. And that's kind of how I see this. So you can see most of these projects are down. I did want to talk about three that I've been kind of averaging in on a little bit. Reef obviously is a nice one, but RSR, so reserve rights token, down about 14% on the daily at right around 2 cents, right around $354 million market cap, daily volume around 38 million. I've talked about RSR in the past. My personal price target for this long term is around 30 cents. I could see RSR getting to. This is one where they essentially give you back. So you're earning passive income just by holding this in your wallet, and you don't even have to be staking it. All fees you get paid back in RSR tokens just for holding it, and obviously it's proportional to how much RSR you have. So keep that in mind. It's a great project for as far as that. You don't have to lock it up. They basically give these fees back to all the people in the network. So then Serum SRM, rank number 162. This was in one of our top coins for 1 month. I think it might have been it might have been in March's picks. I had some coins for March that did very, very well. And I've the nice thing about applying the tiered investment approach, applying the Trident strategy, is that you're able to get in on nice average prices on these projects and really move forward as far as that goes. So market cap is around $180 million, right around $4 at current spot price. Volume is pretty low, $56 million. Circulating to max supply is 1%. So let's see here. Hasn't really retraced that far, but it does kind of it's kind of meeting these levels of previous support here. So Serum, I might average in a little bit on, but more interestingly, Swipe. So SXP. This one is a project that I've done a deep dive video on. If you're confused, I always like how so this CoinMarketCap breaks it down here. So what is Swipe SXP? So if you have any questions on it, you can either refer to that or my video. And they're doing so many great things and kind of merging the banking space, with debit cards, with payments, in merging that with blockchain. So blockchain really just helps move, just like you're moving from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. You're moving from payment platforms from I guess you could say traditional banking systems to more innovative banking systems, right? So we've seen a lot of volatility with this project. Let's go back up here and look at some of the numbers. So on about 124,000 watch lists, right around $1.64 on the daily, down about 12%, $155 million market cap with $105 million in volume. Wow, the volume is actually quite impressive for Swipe, I will say, based on the market cap. That's good to see. I always like to see a nice volume when trading any assets. But yeah, so in this kind of current drop, where were we? We kind of hit these highs of around $5.47. We've retraced back down to $1.74. A decent discount, in my opinion, on Swipe. It obviously all depends. Okay, if you're just getting into these projects to sell them next week or next month, maybe this isn't for you. But if you understand what Swipe is doing long term, this could be an interesting play. That's basically all for this one. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video. Like I said, a live stream will be going on tonight, discussing all kinds of topics. I'll probably be talking about some altcoins during the dip, the G7 conference, what's going on there, some things that they're talking about with the new normal, Russia, emerging market investing, how I see the market here in Tbilisi, Georgia, as far as real estate goes, the ease of opening a bank account, the ease of opening a business here in Georgia, all these different things I'll be discussing. So besides that, I highly recommend you join the Telegram group. That way you can ask individual questions if you don't want to leave them in the YouTube comments. If it's a bit more personal, you can reach out in the Telegram group. It's just a group of like-minded investors talking about different global investment strategies. So a link for that is down below in the description. And then, like I say, with all videos, check out the must-watch video section in the description down below. I talk about, how to pull profits in altcoins, how to do your own research, the global investment framework, the global TA series, global technical analysis, going over how to chart, how to understand just making money in capital markets by using technical analysis. Although you have to understand that's just one tool in the tool belt, right? Technical analysis isn't everything. It's not the end all be all. Rather, you want to use it as a tool, all right? So you want to make sure that you're using it to your advantage, understanding proper stop losses. So all of those are linked down below in the description. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with the channel, notification bell to stay up to date because it's time sensitive content. So just to recap, like, subscribe button all, check out the videos down below in the descriptions, leave me a comment down below, invest global, and until next time.